What's up, guys? Today we are doing a mobility flow that'll help release the low back. So if you have achiness in the lower back, then this video is for you. Just recognize that I'm not a pain doctor. I'm a certified trainer, and this will help release the low back muscles. But if you have any injuries, please be careful or get approved by a doctor. So what we're going to start with is a big sun salutation. So what I want you to do is bring the hands out to the side. We're going to go up, reach towards the ceiling, and then hinge down, push the hips back, reach towards the toes, and then we're going to slowly go up one vertebrae at a time. So I want you to round out that spine here, slowly roll it up, and we're going to do a couple more times. So I want hands out to the side, reach up to the ceiling. You can even push the core out a little bit, get a big stretch, and then we're going to reach down, push our hips back. Same thing, kind of hunch up, decompress, and then we're going to roll it back up one vertebrae at a time. Now, next thing I want you to do, we're going to keep up those sun salutations. We're going to bring the feet a little wider apart. We're going to reach up, same thing, hinge back, and then while we're down here, don't have to specifically touch the toes, just reach as far as you can. And then we're going to rock it side to side. So we're going to crawl our hands to the right, crawl our hands to the left, and kind of loosen up everything. Same thing here. Relax the core, kind of let everything decompress. And then let's roll one vertebrae at a time on up. And we're going to do one more, but let's widen the stance even more. So feet a little wider apart, and we're going to do the same thing. Reach up, push your hips forward, squeeze the butt, and then reach down towards the floor. You can rock it side to side here, and we're going to do the same thing. Crawl one way and crawl the other. If I'm crawling my hands towards the left, I'm really pushing those hips towards the right. And don't be afraid to really wrap yourself around, push those hips in the opposite direction. All right, next we're going to get into a downward dog. So we're going to do one last sun salutation. We're going to bring our hands up, reach one more time, push the hips forward, and then we're going to reach down towards our toes, crawl ourselves out a little bit, push the hips back, bring our feet back a little bit, and we're going to do a walking downward dog. Lifting one heel up, one down, one up, one down. Bend one knee at a time here. Make sure you're not just landing here, you're pushing back with the hips, pushing back with the upper body. Chest is towards the knees here. And then we're going to bring those knees down to the mat and bring it into a child's pose. Bring your knees a little farther apart here. Keep the feet either a little together, or a bigger stretch will be a little farther apart. And we're going to rock our hips back. Sit in here for just a minute. Really push those hips back. Sink your butt into the heels. Pull those fingertips towards the other way. Really crawling them forward here. And we're going to bring it right into Cobra next. So I want you to lift your butt off your heels, and I want you to push the hips forward. Give me a big core stretch right here. Now, if that's too much on your low back, you can sink it down into mini Cobra, where we bring it right here. I just want that big core stretch. We're going to rock back into child's pose one more time. So maybe the knees go a little farther apart this time. Wherever you're at today, And then we're going to rock the hips back. Really push them back, stretch out those hips. The wider your feet and your knees are, the bigger the hip stretch. So if that's too much, bring your feet together. Don't forget to pull those fingertips forward. And then we're going to go one more cobra. Again, don't be afraid to go to mini cobra. Take it at your own pace here. And we're going to bring it now on all fours into cat and cow. So I want you to hunch up for cat, meow, and then push the belly out for cow. And we're going to alternate between the two. So round up and then push the stomach out. Alternate between the two at your own pace here. We're going to bring into a deeper hip stretch now. Now I want you to bring it into a runner's lunge. So what we're going to do is keep it on our knees first, and then we're going to bring one foot forward and push our hips into this stretch. Now make sure you're not arching the back here. You're squeezing the glutes. We're stretching that hip flexor here. Pushing forward. If you want a little bit deeper, you can push forward even more. You can even bring that foot out to the side of your mat. And if this is a deep stretch, you can also rock back and forth between it, kind of letting it slowly stretch out. All right, let's go ahead and get that other side. We're going to bring that other leg forward. And now we're stretching that other hip flexor again. No arching. Draw in the core, squeeze the butt, push forward here. Stretch that other hip flexor. Again, if you want to get deeper into it, you can widen the stance and push forward. And same thing here, you can rock back and forth between it if that feels good to you, or you can hold it. All right, and so now we're going to bring it into the other direction. So we had the foot forward. Now I want you to bring it out. So not facing forward with the toe, we're facing out towards that other wall. And we're going to shift with our arms up, in out. Now this is a pretty intense stretch for the inner thigh and groin, so don't overdo it. Rock back and forth as needed, and then hold it where it feels good. Opening up those inner hips here. If it's too much on the back, go a little less deep or hinge your hips back a little bit. Let's go a few more seconds and then we'll trade sides. Awesome. Now the same thing, stepping out to the other side and shifting back and forth, feeling that inner thigh and groin area. Again, you can lift the arms up or you can hinge back for a little less pressure and hold as you'd like. All right, next we're going to bring it into a pigeon. So what I want you to do, release that low back again. Feel free to go cats and cows, and we're going to bring one leg in at a time. So let's go back into downward dog. I want your feet and heels down to the floor as much as you can. We're going to push those hips back. And then what I want you to do is lift one leg towards the ceiling, and we're going to drop it in and turn. So go at your own level here, but if you need to modify it, pull it in a little bit more, or you can make it tougher by bringing that 90-degree angle. That'll be the toughest one. And so, of course, feel free to sink forward if you want a little bit more. But you should be feeling it all on the side of the butt here. And then we're going to get that other side. So even deeper of a stretch is kicking that back leg up. But again, don't overextend if it's a pretty deep stretch. Give me a few more seconds or hold it as long as you'd like. And then we're going to bring it to that other side. So let's go back into that downward dog, bringing our hips back again, pushing our heels towards the floor again. And then we're going to bring that other leg up to the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it in, angle it. Same thing here. Bring it to whatever feels good for you. It can be drawn in a little bit. You could bring it down to the floor. And you can even bring that leg up, but just don't push it if it's a pretty deep stretch here. Awesome. We'll hold it for a few more seconds, guys. All right, so we're gonna go for a reverse scorpion here. So what I want you to do is bring your hips down to the mat, and we're going to shift side to side here. So what we're gonna do is kick side to side. So kick back on one side, and then if it's the left foot, it's kicking to the right. Nice, guys. Go ahead. Don't be afraid to really reach. Let everything stretch out. Awesome. And we're going to flip it over and do the same thing, but on our backs. So what I want you to do, one leg up, cross it over, keeping the shoulders onto the mat so the chest is opening. And then we're bringing it to the other side. And flip between the two, or you can even hold it if it feels good. The hips can be off the mat. Just don't let the shoulders get off the mat. And then other way. Beautiful. And we're at the home stretch here. We have 2 more stretches. I want you to bring it into a figure 4 now. So I want one leg up, the other crossed over, and then you can pull it in. So if that's too much, you can leave it right here. You can even bring the other leg down, kind of rock it out. A really deep stretch, pull in the other knee. Should be feeling all along the side of the butt here. Nice, and let's go ahead and switch sides. Cross it over. And then pull that knee in. Again, same thing. You can relax it here if it's too much, or really pull it in, kind of like a pretzel here. And I just have one last thing for y'all. I want you to bring the knees in and just rock side to side. You can even alternate between bringing it out, pulling in, rocking side to side here. You can even go one at a time if you want to stretch out the hips a little bit more. Pull in real deep, and then other side. Or keep holding both at the same time. Kind of try out what feels good to you. Nice. Go ahead and rock the legs side to side. Loosen up that back one more time. And you did it. I hope your low back is feeling a little better, and get some water after these stretches. And great job today.